We can start the DTA demo from the overview screen. This demo is based on a fictitious mining facility with simulated data. This mining facility is made up of 3 units or plants, which we can see listed on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we can see our latest downtime events which are configurable. In this example, we're showing the top 10 downtime events here, and underneath we're showing the top 10 rate loss events which are all listed here. Each downtime event has a downtime with a date and the time associated, and the time when that piece of equipment is back up and running, and it shows the loss in hours. In this example, 0.33 hours is equal to 20 minutes. For rate loss, we can see the date and time of each rate loss and what the capacity was in terms of the lost, in terms of tons that has been lost during that particular event or downtime event or rate loss event. On the right hand side of the screen, we can see our 3 company KPIs. So the first KPI is the OEE for the last 30 days, or the overall equipment efficiency. And you can see that's listed by each of the 3 plants that we have within this facility. Underneath we have our availability KPI for the last 30 days, and again separated across the 3 plants. And lastly, we have our rate loss KPI for the past 30 days, which is shown as a value in tons. On the left hand side, for both rate loss and downtime events, you can see a green traffic light indicator. That's telling us that there's a reason that's been associated to that particular downtime. And we can click on each of these to show us exactly what those reasons are. So here on the left hand side, you'll see the information that we had on the home page. So we've got the name of the plant, the downtime and the date, and the uptime and the date, and the total loss in hours. So that's 30.33 hours or 20 minutes. And over here we have our assigned reasons for those downtimes. So we can see that there's 2 reasons in this example. So rate loss can be, or downtime could be assigned for more than one reason. And you can see here we've got 2 listed. And it's not that easy to find similar software that allows you to easily divide events and give multiple reasons. The 2 reasons in this example each accounts for 50% of the overall downtime. So we can actually change that for downtime reasons, and we can actually allocate a time if that's more pertinent, but you can essentially choose between percentage and time. So in this example we have 50% allocated to a process or an operator action for underspeed, and we have 50% associated to another process condition in the mechanical with a level low. And what we can do is we can easily add a 3rd reason for this downtime event, and the easy way to do that is to just click on the add option at the top. So here we have a hierarchy of reasons that is defined during the configuration of DTA, and it's very important because it's guiding where a supervisor or an operator is assigning a reason in such a way that reasons are consistent over time. They do not change because they've been configured for DTA in the beginning, and they are consistent across all plants. So you can have specific events for a particular plant. Because choices are limited to what has been pre-configured, you're always comparing apples with apples or like for like, which is important for the analysis part later. So in this example we can see that we're looking at the plant train, IW plant train 1, 2, and you can see all of the subplants that are associated to this piece of equipment. So maybe we'll select the second one down, the rock breaker. We can see underneath that we have a responsibility, so maybe there's some external event, maybe a power loss or a loss of power, which is more of an external reasons. We can then assign a reason or group. So again, going with the example of power, we can click on the power option, and then we can assign the reason. So one reason for power loss. And then underneath that we have our free text edit tool, so we can actually add a description of what the reason for this downtime was. So maybe there was a major grid failure within that particular plant that caused the failure of this downtime or this event, and we can actually hit save and save that to the downtime assigned reasons. You will notice as well on the left hand side that the previous green traffic light is now turned to red. This is meaning that we have a mismatch of allocated reasons. So we've got three reasons for a downtime, but they're not equally distributed to add up to 100%. So we need to change one of these events and add in a percentage for the new reason that we've now assigned. So maybe this goes down to 30% of the reason, and the power failure, the major grid failure, accounts for 20%. And we can update these as we want to, and we just click on the Update Allocations button at the top. You notice that the percentage now equates back up to the 100%, and the green light on the left hand side is now turned from the red back to the green. So we can now navigate back to the home page, and we can show more details about each downtime and rate loss event. So we can actually click in each option and drill into the details like we've seen for this downtime example here. So at the top we can actually click on the downtime events and just see downtime events rather than rate loss events. And you can show that we've got a lot of data for our downtime events, 619 pages, and we can actually scroll through any of these pages, click on these pages and have a look at the information, or we can use the date and time filter that we've got here. Similarly, we have the same information for rate loss events. So again, this is listed by date and time, showing the value that we've lost in tons. And you can see we have lots of pages of information. So if I just click on the last page, maybe we're looking at an event back from January that we might want to change. So again, if we wanted to edit the assigned reasons for this rate loss, we can do exactly the same thing as we did for the downtime events, but you don't have the option to switch between the percentage or the time. It's just an allocated percentage. So again, we could add a new reason for a rate loss, going through the same hierarchy of configured reasons within DTA. We can hit the save button and we can allocate a new reason for that particular event, or the rate loss reason why that's occurred. So I'll just cancel that. And what we can also do is, if we go back to the home page, we have an option on the top right hand side where we can actually click on the settings. So we can actually filter via the plant that we're interested in. So maybe we just wanted to have a look at the data that we have for the cow's crushing train. We can click on the filter here. We can hit on the save button down at the bottom. You'll notice on the top right that where it was previously no filter, we now are filtered for the cow's crushing train. And we can have a look at both the downtime events for this particular plant, or we can look at the rate loss events for this plant. And again, we can click on each of these links and we can go into the details. Similarly, again, we have our date and time filter here that we can actually really drill into maybe a particular date or a time that's really interesting for us. And again, the filter, you can go into the plants that we've got listed, or you can have no filter applied. Hit the save button. Settings have been saved, and you'll notice again that the filter at the top here says no filter, and it will show all plants again, all rate loss events for each plant. And that's back to how you can drill into each plant and get the information that you want to get out of this DTA product. So this is a really good example of how we can see the online monitoring of downtime and how you can enter reasons for both downtime and rate loss. I'd now like to have a look at some of the reports that we've got to show you what sort of analytical tools that you have to isolate problems and find the reasons or most problematic areas of your plant or your facility. So we have a reports option here, and we have 6 reports, so you can do a summary by month, by quarter, by year, by day of the month, week, or day of the week. So if we're looking at weeks, it shows you that we're looking at the year, which will be just loading up now into 2017. So each week is listed from the latest, so week 42 is the latest, all the way down to week 1 at the start of the week. So you can drill into each week that you want to have a look at. So let's have a look at week 1 as an example. Scrolling back up to the top, it will show you 2017, week 1 at the top, and it will actually list out all of the downtimes, the total availability in percentages, production rate percentages, if we have it. We're not actually referencing quality data in this example, but it would be there listed if it was being recognized. And then at the end we have our OEE calculation, which you can see as a percentage as well. We also have these handy buttons, so the plus and the minus icons, just to really show you how much you can drill into all the information, go into the plants, go into the subplants, and really see how downtimes have been associated and which equipment has been associated, and you can see which ones have the most downtime. So if we're looking at the IOW plant train, you can see the downtime in hours, so total hours is 120, and you can see how that is broken down into each sub or child item underneath that. So maybe let's take a look at one of the high ones. So maybe this one, this primary grinder discharge chute, has a downtime of 3.33 hours, and we can actually click on this and you can actually see the hours, but it's now done by equipment, so you can see the hours and which equipment is being responsible for that total downtime, and you can see that all the way listed right throughout. So whether it's unplanned maintenance, external reasons, process, whatever reason it's assigned to an hours, and you can see that listed. So you can see how downtime is distributed per reason, and you can then cross-reference that information between equipment and reasons and vice versa. This is a very powerful tool with good analysis capabilities. So you can also look at some dedicated reports. So if we go back into the previous screen, so we click on the IOW plant train, we can see the reports for that, and you can see again all of the downtime hours listed, and you can see which what ranks as the top 10 contributors of that downtime. So you can see here that the total downtime hours is 19.5, and you can see all of the reasons as to how that contribution is made up. So you can see how that's made up by each of the sub-equipment underneath that particular plant, and that goes through to lots of pages of information. You can actually drill into the details. So let's just click back, and you can see that there's a similar report for rate loss ranking, and again we can click on this and we can see the top 10 contributors to rate loss events in tonnes. So you can see this figure is 8,400 tonnes of lost production, and you have a list underneath that shows the reasons and the amounts that have contributed to that overall total. If we just go back, you can actually see the equipment ranking, again top 10 contributors both for downtime equipment ranking and rate loss equipment ranking. So I'll just click on these and show you what this looks like, and again very similar to the previous screens, and you can see the full reports and all the information that we have available on there, and again top 10 reasons, score contributors, and the reasons underneath. So this is giving quite a powerful understanding with analytical tools to check your data and see where the biggest opportunities exist for improvements. So I'd like to go back and show you how these reports can be exported. So at the top here we have a save option. So just clicking on this gives you all the options that we have available for saving, and one interesting feature is this one, which is the MHTML option. So this, I can save it to the desktop, And we can see that if I just close down this this web page, and here we have the summary week report, so I'll just double click. And this HTML format allows you to save data in a way that keeps it interactive, in the same way that you can view it as an online interface. So you could maybe share this file, send it via email, open on another computer, and even if you're not connected to the Exaquantum DTA product, you will see something very similar to what the DTA users will see. So again, we can scroll through all of the weeks and you can see all of the information that we have on downtime as part of this demo, giving you full interaction with all the hyperlinks that you would wish for. Okay, and that concludes the DTA demo. Thank you.